I've never had love like that before. No one has ever loved me and done things for me.
Some of these celebrities could literally be their partner's parent, and in a few cases, they're older than their in-laws, from secret proposals when one partner was still a teenager, to weddings where the guest list was more shocked than celebratory. These Hollywood romances raised eyebrows, headlines, and serious questions. Think 30-year age gaps, unexpected babies, and controversial power dynamics. Which star married someone younger than their own children? And which couple met when one of them was still legally a kid? These are the celebrity marriages with the largest age gaps ever. Let's discover. Number 20. Mel Gibson and Rosalind Ross. Did Mel Gibson really start dating someone who was younger than 6 of his children? Yes, that someone is Rosalind Ross, his partner since 2014, who is a full 34 years younger than him. Gibson, born in 1956, was nearly 60 when he met Ross, a former equestrian vaulter and aspiring screenwriter in her early 20s. They reportedly met when she applied to co-write a script for his production company. Soon after, they were spotted traveling together, and the headlines never stopped. Despite public skepticism, the two have stayed together for nearly a decade and welcomed a son, Lars, in 2017. Ross was 26. Gibson was 61. That didn't stop them from walking red carpets together or publicly displaying affection at Hollywood events. But critics raised eyebrows, especially considering Gibson's tumultuous past, a history that includes a violent and widely publicized breakup with Russian pianist Oksana Grigorieva, the mother of his daughter Lucia. In 2010, taped phone calls surfaced in which Gibson was heard making racist and threatening remarks. Grigorieva accused him of physical mistreatment, and although Gibson denied the claims, he ultimately pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor battery charge. For many, the idea of a much younger woman entering a relationship with a man carrying that kind of baggage was deeply unsettling. Still, Rosalind Ross has never publicly addressed the controversy and has stood by Gibson through years of scrutiny. Whether out of loyalty, love, or silence, she remains one of the few figures in his orbit who hasn't walked away. Number 19. Billy Joel and Alexis Roderick. Billy Joel has always done things his way, including romance. In 2015, at the age of 66, the piano man married Alexis Roderick, who was 33 at the time. That's a 33-year age gap. Joel had already been married 3 times before, including to model Christy Brinkley. Roderick, a former financial advisor for Morgan Stanley, started dating him in 2009, and the two kept a relatively low profile until they tied the knot at his Long Island estate, surprising guests who thought they were just attending a 4th of July party. Unlike Joel's past relationships that often played out in the tabloids, this one has remained surprisingly stable. Together, they have 2 daughters, Della Rose and Remy Ann. Joel has said in interviews that fatherhood in his 70s feels more relaxed and fun. But fans have voiced concern over the age gap and the fact that he could be older than some of his kids' future teachers. Roderick, for her part, has largely avoided the spotlight, occasionally appearing with Joel at public events and concerts. While some fans applaud their seemingly down-to-earth bond, others wonder whether the age difference will eventually take a toll. But for now, Billy seems to have found his final encore. Number 18. Mick Jagger and Melanie Hamrick. It's not every day your 8th child is born when you're in your 70s, and your girlfriend is younger than some of your grandkids. But for Mick Jagger, that's exactly what happened. He was 73 when he welcomed a child with Melanie Hamrick, a ballet dancer who was 29 at the time. That's a jaw-dropping 44-year age gap, one of the biggest in Hollywood. The two reportedly met in 2014 backstage at a Rolling Stones concert in Tokyo, shortly after the tragic Jagger's longtime partner, Loren Scott. A year later, he and Hamrick were spotted vacationing together in Europe, and by 2016, she was pregnant with his 8th child. The child, Devereux Octavian Basil Jagger, was born in December 2016. Hamrick has since retired from full-time ballet and now focuses on choreography and raising their son, who, by the way, is younger than some of Jagger's grandchildren. Despite the intense age gap, the relationship has stayed relatively low drama, by Rolling Stones standards anyway. Jagger hasn't married Hamrick, and sources say they maintain a somewhat unconventional relationship, spending time together, but also living independent lives. That hasn't stopped fans from speculating about everything from inheritance drama to parenting dynamics. After all, how many toddlers have a dad pushing 80? Number 17. Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Michael Douglas didn't slide into DMs. He looked Catherine Zeta-Jones in the eye at a film festival in 1998 and told her, "I want to father your children." Despite a 25-year age gap, the two became one of Hollywood's most talked-about couples. Douglas was 54, already an Oscar-winning actor, and the son of screen legend Kirk Douglas. Zeta-Jones was 29, rising quickly thanks to films like The Mask of Zorro. They married in 2000 at a lavish wedding in New York, complete with a reported 7-figure budget and guests like Sean Connery and Jack Nicholson. The couple went on to have 2 children and became red carpet regulars, often praised for their old Hollywood glamour. But behind the scenes, things weren't always so glossy. Douglas was diagnosed with tongue cancer in 2010, and Zeta-Jones later revealed her struggles with bipolar II disorder. They briefly separated in 2013, sparking endless tabloid speculation, but eventually reunited. In interviews, both have credited time apart and therapy for saving the relationship. Despite public curiosity about their age gap, Douglas once quipped, "We share the same birthday, 25 years apart." With 2 decades of marriage behind them, they've proven that sometimes silver screen romances really do have staying power, even if the birth certificates are a generation apart. Number 16. Bruce Willis and Emma Hemming. Bruce Willis has always had a reputation as a tough guy on screen, but when it comes to love, he's surprisingly sentimental. In 2007, he met British model Emma Hemming at their mutual trainer's gym. By 2009, they were married in an intimate ceremony in Turks and Caicos. The age gap? 22 years. Willis was 54, and Hemming was 32. Hemming had already made a name for herself in the fashion world, walking for Chanel, gracing beauty campaigns, and appearing in international editions of Elle and Glamour. But what caught the public's attention wasn't just her career, it was how seamlessly she seemed to fit into Willis's famously blended family. His ex-wife Demi Moore not only attended their wedding, but has spent holidays and even quarantined with the couple during the pandemic. The family dynamic has been described as unusually healthy, which in Hollywood terms might as well mean practically miraculous. Willis and Hemming have 2 daughters, Mabel and Evelyn, and for many years, the couple lived largely outside of the public eye. But that changed in 2022 when Willis's family revealed he was retiring from acting after being diagnosed with aphasia, which later progressed to frontotemporal dementia. Since then, Hemming has stepped into a more public role, raising awareness, protecting his dignity, and advocating for caregiving families. Number 15. Olivier Sarkozy and Mary-Kate Olsen. When Mary-Kate Olsen, one half of the famously reclusive Olsen twins, quietly married French banker Olivier Sarkozy in 2015, it felt like the ultimate mismatch. He was 46, she was 29. That's a 17-year age gap. But it wasn't just the numbers that made people stare. It was the pairing itself. Sarkozy, a high-powered financier and the half-brother of former French President Nicolas Sarkozy, was rarely seen without a suit and a serious face. Paulson, meanwhile, had spent the better part of a decade avoiding red carpets and building a quiet fashion empire with her twin sister. The couple reportedly lived a very private, almost secretive life. Rumors swirled that their New York townhouse was eccentric, even by celebrity standards. Guests allegedly surrendered their phones upon arrival, and cigarette bowls were a permanent fixture. Despite the odd mix, they stayed married for 5 years. Then, in May of 2020, things blew up. Paulson filed an emergency divorce petition, claiming Sarkozy had ended their apartment lease behind her back and given her a deadline to move out during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The media had a field day. Court documents suggested she was blindsided and that their split was far from amicable. In classic Olsen style, she refused to speak to the press, but the story painted a picture of a marriage that unraveled under pressure and control. What do you think? Was this doomed from the start, or just a classic celebrity flameout? Comment your thoughts down below. Number 14. Jason Statham and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. They might have looked like an action movie cliché, grizzled guy, supermodel girlfriend. But Jason Statham and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley were anything but temporary. When they got together, she was 23. Statham was 42. That's a 19-year age gap. And yet, more than a decade later, they're still going strong. When the model and Transformers actress met the action star at a London party in 2010, the age gap between them was 20 years. They began dating shortly afterwards. Statham was already known for roles in The Transporter and Crank, while Rosie was making the leap from Victoria's Secret runway to Hollywood blockbusters. Their relationship raised eyebrows from the start. He was the tough guy actor with a grizzled edge. She was the glamorous, fresh-faced newcomer. But despite the obvious differences, they quickly became one of the most watched couples in the entertainment world. And unlike many age gap pairings, theirs didn't flame out fast. Quite the opposite. By 2016, the couple was engaged, and in 2017, they welcomed their first child, a son named Jack. The pair has since settled into family life in California while continuing their careers, Statham headlining action franchises like Fast and Furious, and Huntington-Whiteley building her own beauty brand, Rose Inc. Despite keeping most of their relationship private, they occasionally post glimpses of their home life on social media, giving fans a look at a surprisingly domestic duo. Statham, now in his 50s, still does his own stunts. Rosie, now in her 30s, continues to model and run her business. And although the age gap raised questions at the start, more than a decade later, they've proved that, in their case, the chemistry wasn't just for show. Number 13. Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwin. Alec Baldwin didn't just marry a yoga instructor, he kick-started a family empire with a 31-year age gap and 7 kids, and counting. Baldwin, then 54, had already had a long and turbulent career in Hollywood, including a very public divorce from Kim Basinger and a custody battle that included the infamous rude, thoughtless little pig voicemail. Hilaria, just 28 at the time, was a relatively unknown yoga instructor from New York who quickly became a fixture in celebrity media. The couple met at a Manhattan restaurant in 2011 and were engaged within a year. Their wedding at St. Patrick's Old Cathedral included guests like Tina Fey and Woody Allen. Soon after, Hilaria transitioned from private life to public figure, becoming a wellness influencer, publishing books, and frequently appearing on red carpets. Together, the Baldwins now have 7 children. Yes, 7. Their rapidly expanding family has made headlines more than once, especially given Baldwin's age and the speed with which they've added to their brood. But controversy hasn't been far behind. In 2020, Hilaria was accused of faking a Spanish heritage, despite being born and raised in Boston. The scandal led to intense scrutiny, with some critics pointing to the bizarre accent switch and conflicting backstories as signs of something bigger. And yet, Alec has stood by her through all of it. Publicly, at least. Their relationship has survived scandals, court battles, and even tragic headlines surrounding Alec's involvement in the behind-the-scenes incident on Rust. Number 12. Sam and Aaron Taylor Johnson. Did Aaron Taylor Johnson really propose to his 41-year-old director just 1 year after meeting her, when he was still a teenager? Yes. The actor was only 18 when he met Sam Taylor Johnson, then 41, while filming Nowhere Boy in 2008. The age gap? A striking 23 years. And the timeline? Even more shocking. They got engaged shortly after wrapping the film, and many in the industry were stunned. Sam was an acclaimed filmmaker, a mother of 2, and a survivor of cancer. Aaron was a rising actor just breaking out of his teen years. Some called it unconventional, others called it inappropriate. But the couple didn't seem fazed. They married in 2012 when Aaron was 22 and Sam was 45. Aaron even legally added Taylor to his last name, becoming Aaron Taylor Johnson. That move raised even more eyebrows, especially in Hollywood, where men rarely adjust their names post-marriage. The pair now shares 2 daughters and have raised all 4 of their children, including Sam's from a previous marriage, away from the spotlight. While critics have continued to question the power dynamic and the age gap, both Aaron and Sam have been vocal in defending their relationship. In interviews, Aaron often says he knew instantly she was the one. Still, the relationship remains one of Hollywood's most polarizing. Was it a genuine love story, or a romance that would raise red flags if the genders were reversed? What do you think? Number 11. Hilarie Burton and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. They didn't meet on set or fall in love on screen. Hilarie Burton and Jeffrey Dean Morgan owe their entire relationship to a blind date set up by Jensen Ackles. Many fans were surprised by the relationship, not just because of their low-key romance, but because of the 16-year age gap. Morgan was in his early 40s, Burton was in her mid-20s, and unlike other Hollywood couples, they didn't debut on a red carpet or meet at a film premiere. They were introduced by Morgan's Supernatural co-star Jensen Ackles and his wife, Danielle Harris, who set them up on a blind date in 2009. What started as a casual introduction turned into one of the more enduring relationships in showbiz. They had their first child, son Augustus, in 2010. But in classic off-the-grid fashion, they didn't make any big announcements. In fact, for years, many people didn't even realize they were together. It wasn't until 2019, after a decade and a second child, that Burton and Morgan officially tied the knot. The wedding was private, meaningful, and included close friends like Jensen and Danielle. Burton later opened up about their unconventional journey, saying they were never interested in doing things the traditional way. While the 16-year gap raised questions early on, it's rarely mentioned now. The couple runs a farm in upstate New York, raises their 2 kids, and co-own a candy shop in Rhinebeck. In an industry filled with flash and fallout, they've built a surprisingly normal life, just with a few more years between them. Number 10. Patrick Stewart and Sonny Ozell. Sir Patrick Stewart didn't just shock fans with his second marriage. He did it with a bride 38 years younger and Ian McKellen officiating the wedding. Stewart was 73. Ozell, a singer-songwriter from Reno, Nevada, was 35. That's a jaw-dropping 38-year age gap. They met in 2008 at a Brooklyn restaurant where Ozell was working as a waitress and Stewart was performing in a nearby play. The connection was instant. They began dating, and despite the age gap and the fact that Ozell is younger than Stewart's own daughter, they moved in together not long after. Their wedding added another quirky twist. Stewart's close friend and X-Men co-star Ian McKellen officiated the ceremony. The moment went viral, adding a layer of internet charm to a pairing that many had initially questioned. Over the years, the couple has kept things light and humorous, often poking fun at themselves and their generational differences. In interviews, Stewart admits he's astonished by how well they work together, and Ozell has said that people assume she's his daughter, until they see them hold hands. Despite the skeptics, they seem to be genuinely happy. They split their time between New York and Los Angeles, support each other's work, and show up at public events with affectionate ease. Is it unconventional? Absolutely. But for a knighted actor with decades of fame and a much younger, fiercely independent wife, Patrick Stewart seems to be boldly going where few 70-somethings have gone before. Number 9. Woody Allen and Soon-Yi Previn. It's the most controversial celebrity age gap relationship of all time, and for many, the most disturbing. Woody Allen and Soon-Yi Previn's relationship didn't just raise eyebrows, it sparked outrage. When their romance was first revealed in the early 1990s, the public wasn't just shocked by the 45-year age gap. The bigger issue? Previn was the adopted daughter of Allen's longtime partner, Mia Farrow. Soon-Yi, born in South Korea and adopted by Farrow and composer Andre Previn, was reportedly just around 21 when her relationship with Allen became public. Allen was 57. The scandal erupted when Farrow found nude photos of Soon-Yi in Allen's apartment. What followed was a public collapse of the Farrow-Allen household, a brutal custody battle, and headlines that forever tainted Allen's legacy. Allen has repeatedly stated that he was never a father figure to Soon-Yi, and that they had little interaction during her childhood. But critics, and many in Hollywood, have never accepted that narrative. Still, Allen and Soon-Yi married in 1997 and have remained together for over 25 years. They've adopted 2 children of their own and rarely grant interviews, though in recent years, Soon-Yi has defended the relationship, calling the backlash unfair and claiming Mia Farrow was the real manipulator. Number 8. Sarah Paulson and Holland Taylor. Sarah Paulson's relationship with Holland Taylor didn't just break age gap norms, it flipped the entire narrative on its head. When the two actresses publicly confirmed their relationship in 2015, people were surprised to learn that Taylor was 32 years older. Paulson was 40. Taylor was 72. While Paulson had long been known for her work in shows like American Horror Story, Taylor was beloved for her decades of stage and screen work, including her Emmy-winning role on The Practice and the sitcom 2.5 Men. Their relationship defied the usual celebrity dynamic. Not only was the older partner the woman, she was also the less spotlight-seeking half of the couple. The two reportedly met years earlier at a dinner party, but reconnected on Twitter. Yes, Twitter. After exchanging messages, they went out for a drink and never looked back. Since going public, Paulson has made a point of defending their age difference, saying, "If someone wants to spend any time thinking I'm strange for loving the most spectacular person on the planet, then that's their problem." The couple appears incredibly stable, often showing up together at awards shows and public events. Taylor, who came out later in life, has said Paulson gave her the courage to live more authentically. And Paulson has praised Taylor's intelligence, wit, and confidence as the qualities that drew her in. Number 7. Steven Tyler and Aimee Preston. Steven Tyler is known for wild outfits, big vocals, and decades of rock and roll excess. But his relationship with Aimee Preston still managed to shock fans. The Aerosmith frontman, now in his 70s, has been romantically linked to Preston, his former personal assistant, since at least 2016. Their age gap? 39 years. When they began dating, Tyler was 67. Preston was 28. Preston, a former assistant at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago and a trained musical theater performer, met Tyler while working for him professionally. By 2014, they were frequently seen together, and within 2 years, they confirmed the relationship with public appearances and red carpet moments. What's made the relationship particularly eyebrow-raising, aside from the age difference, is the blurred line between professional and personal roles. Preston initially worked for Tyler, then became his partner, and now acts as both companion and public-facing supporter. The dynamic has drawn comparisons to other celebrity PA romances, but the nearly 4-decade age difference keeps this one under a uniquely harsh spotlight. Tyler, who has long been known for dating much younger women, including models decades his junior, has never directly commented on the age gap. But he's often shown off the relationship online, sharing photos and appearing with Preston at family events. She's even close with his adult children. Number 6. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Before the lawsuits and the headlines, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were the kind of couple that turned heads, for better or worse. When they met on the set of The Rum Diary in 2009, Depp was in his late 40s, already a Hollywood legend with a decades-long career. Heard was just 23, making for a 23-year age gap. They began dating not long after Depp's split from longtime partner Vanessa Paradis, and by 2015, they were married. But what followed was a complete media implosion. Their short-lived marriage was full of chaos, restraining orders, disturbing text messages, and court filings that painted a picture of mutual volatility. Heard accused Depp of domestic abuse. Depp denied everything and sued her for defamation. The courtroom drama played out like a tabloid fever dream, with fans taking sides and the couple's personal lives dissected in real time. The relationship, which started with red carpet glam and magazine spreads, ended in a legal brawl that dominated global headlines. And while the abuse allegations and countersuits became the main focus, many observers couldn't ignore the uncomfortable age dynamic. Critics speculated whether their massive age gap and power imbalance contributed to the toxicity. In the end, their union lasted less than 2 years, but the aftermath will likely follow both of them for life. Was it a doomed romance from day one, or proof that some relationships, no matter the age gap, should never have happened in the first place? What do you think? Number 5. Elliott Spencer and Stephen Fry. What do a 27-year-old stand-up comedian and a 60-year-old literary icon have in common? If you ask Stephen Fry and Elliott Spencer, the answer is, apparently, quite a lot. When the two announced their engagement in early 2015, the 33-year age gap instantly became headline material. Despite the public's initial surprise, the couple married quietly in a registry office in Norfolk, just days after announcing their engagement. While skeptics speculated about the longevity of the match, Fry and Spencer have defied expectations. They keep a low profile, show up occasionally at public events, and seem to be genuinely content. When questioned about the age gap, Fry brushed it off with characteristic charm. Love does not come with a user manual. Number 4. Eddie Murphy and Paige Butcher. 18 years separate comedy icon, Eddie Murphy and Australian model Paige Butcher. They started dating in 2012 when he was 51 and she was 33. While Murphy has 10 children with 5 different women, Butcher appears to be one of the few partners who has stayed out of the spotlight and drama. They now share 2 children, Izzy and Max, and while engaged since 2018, they have yet to tie the knot. Butcher avoids interviews and social media, which has only fueled curiosity. Is she private by nature, or is it part of Murphy's media strategy? Either way, the couple has maintained a stable, quiet relationship that stands in stark contrast to Murphy's often chaotic, romantic past. Number 3. Donald and Melania Trump. When Donald Trump married Melania Knauss in 2005, the 34-year age gap raised plenty of eyebrows, and not just because of the numbers. Trump was a billionaire real estate mogul and reality television star. Melania was a Slovenian model who had just received her United States citizenship. The two had met in 1998 at a party in Manhattan, and according to Melania, she refused to give him her number at first. Fast forward to today, and their relationship remains one of the most scrutinized in the world. From awkward hand-holding moments to side eyes caught on camera, people have long speculated about the emotional distance between them. Despite that, Melania stood by Trump through the presidency, scandals, and indictments, though her absences have often been as loud as her presence. Number 2. Elton John and David Furnish. Elton John and David Furnish may have a 15-year age gap, but they have built one of the most admired long-term relationships in entertainment. They met in 1993, when Elton was 46 and Furnish was 31, and their connection was instant. At a time when same-sex couples still faced stigma, their relationship became a powerful example of love and stability. They entered into a civil partnership in 2005, then legally married in 2014 when same-sex marriage was legalized in the United Kingdom. Together, they have raised 2 sons and co-managed Elton's massive brand, including his farewell tour and AIDS Foundation. They remain deeply affectionate and outspoken about their relationship, frequently calling each other husband in public. Age gap or not, they have shown that partnership can be as much about teamwork as romance. Number 1. Jeff Goldblum and Emily Livingston. Jeff Goldblum has always been quirky, charming, and just a little offbeat, so it is no surprise his personal life is too. When he married Olympic gymnast Emily Livingston in 2014, fans were surprised not just by the 29-year age difference, but by how deeply in love they appeared. Goldblum was 62. Livingston was 33. They met at a gym, bonded over a love of fitness and jazz, and quickly became inseparable. Now parents to 2 children, the couple regularly posts affectionate Instagram videos, dancing, singing, or simply sharing moments from family life. Livingston has gushed about Goldblum's energy, while Goldblum calls her his goddess. Skeptics raise the usual questions about longevity and power dynamics. But nearly a decade in, they are still proving people wrong, with jazz hands, dad jokes, and a love story that somehow makes perfect sense. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the next video for more exciting content.